Northwood Rock, Cherokee, 7348 Juliet, crossing 35 at Charlie, taxiing to 23, Northwood Rock. So the weather is just above VFR minimums for this airfield. And so, you know, I know that it's breaking up right now based on the weather that I've looked at. And so we're just going to do patterns today just to make sure that we're safe. If we need to, we can just land here. We were originally going to go out and do lesson number 2, but I think really it's best just to stay here and do a couple patterns, and we'll go from there. All right, I'm going to point us into the wind here. And we do have crosswinds on this runway, but I want to do the big runway today because the little runway, the airspace is tight for all these runways, but really the big runway here is the best one for touch and goes, even though none of them are really good here. But since the weather is like marginal, I want to stay here to do that. So, all right, parking brake is set. You got the altimeter now. That checks roughly with what we got here, close to 600 feet, so that's about right.
All right. Run up, brake hold firmly. So
yeah, you
got the brakes set.
Yeah, brakes are set, but you can put your toes on.
So fuel, proper tank. It's on the. Man, knock me back again.
Yeah, both these are good, so either one's fine. So right tank's good.
Right tank. Trim for takeoff.
That's up here.
Okay. Let's see. Should it be
neutral for this plane?
Okay.
Some of them will be slightly up, but neutral for this plane.
Flight controls. Okay, I'm gonna check my flight controls.
Cool. You could say like clear or something like that.
Okay, clear.
And then make sure you pull them back to check the elevator or stabilator in this plane. Okay. And when you're done, tell me, check yours. Don't ask it, tell me.
Okay, check yours.
And the reason being is because the examiner, he needs to check his flight controls. Because even though he's not really going to be flying, he needs to check them to make sure they're free and clear. So don't make it seem like it's a possibility that he can't.
Okay. Lights. So we just need the dim on the nav lights. Instruments.
Okay, so from here, what we do is we want to do everything with the power in. So now that we've checked everything else, the instruments are the next thing, and we need to check all that with the power in. And the reason being is because the vacuum system gives some of these, starts spinning the gyros up on these two. This one is spun by electrical power, but these are spun by vacuum power, so these need to be really ran up at 2,000 RPM. So go ahead and run up 2,000 RPM.
Okay. Hold the brakes.
A little bit more, give me just a smidge more. Okay, so yeah, right there. And now what I want you to do is we want to just go across here. So we're not moving, so 0.
Okay.
Slave the heading indicator to the compass. And the compass is in a weird place in this plane. So slave that to there. Usually it's up here, but
so how do you
push in and twist. And the compass is always backwards, so it's going to be on the other side of that.
Oh.
So just keep that in mind. The compass is backwards. So whatever side it's on, it's going to be
on the opposite.
Because we're on the inside of this, we're on the outside of that.
Gotcha.
Okay? Line on line, point on point. We're not going up or down. That should be 0. This should read roughly correct. We're still at 2,000. These are all green across here.
Okay.
Now, I messed up the other day. We want to do the mag check at 1,800 RPM. So you do everything at 2,000 and you come back to 1,800.
Okay.
So right there. And now we'll check the mags. Looking up here when you do that.
Okay, so just turn back 1 click.
2 clicks.
2 clicks.
100 RPM drop. We're looking for less than 175. Back to both. Now go to the left one. So 1 click.
Okay.
Less than 175. It was 100. So back to both. Each tick mark is 100, and they got to be within 50 of each other. So we're good on this.
Okay.
Okay. So now check the carb heat. So turn the carb heat on. Watching this, we should get a drop. You can let it sit here for a second. If the RPM starts going up after that, then that would be an indication that we have icing conditions. It's not, so we don't. So kill it, or not kill it, or go back to carb heat on.
Okay.
And pull the power back to idle. Now the engine should not die. Now one thing to keep in mind is the propeller on a landing is going to be windmilling. So it does feel like it's running rough, but the reason being is because it's going to smoothen out because you'll have a windmilling prop on on an approach. So
Okay.
go ahead and kill the carb heat for me.
Okay.
Now run through that checklist, the rest of that
Alright,
checklist.
so we got vacuums next.
Yep, so we checked that. Sorry, I didn't mention that, but 5 roughly on the PSI here at the 2,000 RPM.
Okay, we check fuel pressure, air pressure, or oil pressure, and oil temp.
All
so
that
got that
right there.
Idle, close check.
That's what we did when we killed it with the carb heat on.
Alright, and then friction lock.
You can adjust this if you want to tighten that up.
So what is friction lock?
So this is the friction lock right
Oh,
here.
okay, that's
so if
what
this
that
thing is too loose, you can tighten it.
Okay. Pre-takeoff flaps. Do we want to do?
So normal takeoff is always flaps up. When we start doing like soft field and short field, you'll have 2 notches, which is 25 degrees.
Okay. Mixture and best power.
Go ahead, push it in. It's already in, but just double check.
Alright, fuel pump on. Carb heat off. Doors and windows.
This is another thing for the examiner. You say, hey, make sure your door's locked. That's all you gotta say. And you can check up here too. There's 2 latches on a Cherokee. You got the door handle over here, and you got a latch up here. Make sure both are latched, and you'll see light back behind me if it's not latched.
Okay. So is it HID compass or?
Yeah. So heading indicator to compass. That's what we just saved it.
Doors and windows, got that. So do I need to close this now? Or can I leave this?
You can, yeah.
Okay. Lights is required. Did that. Transponder. It should be on, I assume.
So a lot of instructors will teach, and like if you go into controlled airspace, a lot of times on the ground they'll have you go standby. These guys will just like it in alt all the time, so we'll just keep it in alt on this plane. So.
All right. Time, it is 10:12, and then release brakes and ready to take off.
So once again, landing lights are not required unless you're operating commercially, but for takeoffs and landings, I like to include that in my flow, so we'll go landing light on for the takeoff.
So that needs to always be on when we're taking off?
Yeah, takeoffs and landings, they should be on, just for the fact of, like, we've got other pilots here. That makes, during the day, it really isn't super obvious, but at night, it makes everyone a lot easier to see.
Okay, all right. Ready to go?
We're ready.
Okay, so I can release this?
You can release that. Pull it straight back without pushing the button. There you go.
Okay. All right, now we're going back to the...
we're going back to the left there. We have a straight crosswind today. So what's the crosswind look like? Basically a straight right to left crosswind. See that sock right there?
Right. So wind's blowing.
Yeah.
Straight across that way?
I'll make the first couple radio calls today.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready to start making radio calls, I want you to start making them as much as possible because I want you to start getting comfortable doing that. All right. Finals clear. Looking over there as well because it's a straight crosswind. So really we could have people going from other directions, but they should be coming from 2-3 here. North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, taking runway 23 for closed traffic, North Little Rock. Now once again, 23 is right patterns, so we're going to be making right turns today.
Okay.
So, and we actually have a little bit more space to drive out, so we'll drive out a little bit farther before we make the right crosswind. Hold your hand on the controls here, and we do have a right to left crosswind, so when we get lined up, you're going to go right aileron down. So right wing down.
Okay.
All right, carb heat's off, fuel pump's on. Before takeoff checklist is complete, we are ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to go?
Yep, heels on the floor.
So you said to the right?
Yeah, right wing down. And as we get faster and faster, you're going to need less right wing down.
Okay.
And like you can start seeing like the airplane could get pushed over like this if you don't have it. Like that. Okay, with the gust, we're looking for 60 knots. 52 knots without a gust, but we're looking for 62. Airspeed's coming alive. Oil pressure's in the green. Gentle on the controls. Rotated a little early. Sorry, so you looked at I saw you looked at the outer ring. We're looking at the inner ring today. So we rotated a little bit early and we didn't have the control authority to control the airplane.
Okay.
Yeah, pitch down for just a second. Looking for 70 knots. Pitch down just a little bit. Build that airspeed up. Safely airborne. Come right a little bit, we're getting blown over. Landing lights off. Fuel pumps off. After takeoff checklist is complete.
Okay.
Come right a little bit, we need to crab that way. We're getting blown over. That's the difficulties about my controls just for a second here.
Okay, your controls?
We got to be aggressive so we don't get pushed over into the class Charlie here. All right, we'll make the turn. We turned a little bit early because we got blown way over. And on a crosswind day like this, you just have to be more aggressive.
Okay.
I'm getting slow. I'm correcting here. All right, you about ready to take back over?
Yes, sir.
All right, your controls. So when we get into ground effect, you have to be really intentional and like kind of crab over like this.
So how exactly do you do that? How do you
as soon as we get airborne, rotate the yoke and get us into a crab like this, and we'll fly kind of like this with those. All right, turn clear right.
Clear right.
And just track kind of this way right here.
Okay.
And climbing up to 1600. Keep the climb coming.
North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, right downwind 23, North Little Rock.
So on final, we're going to be getting pushed that way. So we need right wing down, and we need top rudder.
Okay.
We could try the crabbing method as well, but I prefer the wing load method because crabbing forces you to make a change at the last minute, and that's a lot harder to do. All right, so I made the radio call. We'll start running the checklist. Seat belts on. Fuel selector valve on the right tank. Fuel pump on.
Pump on.
Landing and taxi lights on.
Okay.
Extra best power. Touch that for me.
All right.
All right.
So
we're at BMR touchdown point.
So
Pull the power back.
Okay. So 1700.
Yeah, it's just a wag. Just pull it back a little bit. A little more. There you go. First notch of flaps.
All right.
Carb heat.
Carb heat on.
Just sit on that thing. Pitching for 70. Pitching for 70.
All right.
Look out there at our runway. What's this look like?
Okay.
So normally I would turn about right here.
Okay.
But for your purposes, I want you to get stable today. So lower one more notch and pitch down for 70. Come right.
North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, right base 23, North Little Rock.
Yeah, pitch down, you're getting slow. Pitch down more. Let's fly at 70 knots out here.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're starting to sink down, so start feeding that power in. Pitch down. We need to fly 70 and turn early here. Let's go ahead and turn. Lower that last notch.
All right, last notch flaps.
North Little Rock, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, turning final 23, North Little Rock.
So how's this feel?
Good.
Yeah, so we might be a touch high, but we're getting blown over. So as we start getting on final here, because we're getting blown over, start feeding that right aileron down.
Okay,
Less power.
Less power.
Less power. Watch your airspeed. You're a little fast. I'm going to help you just for a second here. Let's get on center line. Your controls.
My controls.
Your controls. So fly is kind of in an angle like this.
Okay.
We're a little fast, so pitch up. Idle power for just a second. Feed that back in. There you go. Come back over. All right. So let's go around.
All right, go around. So
full power first. Carb heat.
Okay.
First notch of flaps. Nose down.
Nose down.
Pull that nose on the horizon. Good. Put the nose on the horizon. Just watch your airspeed. See how we're getting blown over?
Right.
Just pull over here and just set her right there. Let her do her thing right here. We're climbing away. Second notch of flaps.
Okay, second notch of flaps.
Good. Very good.
This wind is crazy.
It is crazy. It's a hard day. We might come back over and do a couple on the short runway here in just a second.
Okay.
We just got to keep in mind that it's shorter. All right, you already got all the flaps up. We're climbing at 70. Pitch up just a little bit, climbing at 70.
Okay.
Come back right. Let's crab over. Yeah, about right like that. A little bit more aggressive on the controls with those crosswinds today. But continue to climb. So remember, take a look back out there. See the runway?
Yes.
You know, we're actually a little too far crabbed. So come back just a little bit.
Okay.
And go ahead and make the turn here.
All right. Clear right.
Clear. So you should typically be turning crosswind about 300 feet to pattern altitude. We've got an airfield right here, so we're turning a little early. And we're trying to climb up to 1600. Yeah, so we're striving to make rectangle-shaped patterns today. All right, come back right a little bit more for the downwind.
Okay.
North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, right downwind 23, North Little Rock.
Okay, so you're going to do this one. I'm going to try to get you to land for a touch and go. We're going to come back around and you're going to make my radio calls and just kind of watch what I do. But the first one, we're going to get you to land. So look out there at the runway. What do you see? We're still low.
We're still wide.
So we need to come to the right and high?
Yeah, just come right just a little bit. So other things to think about. As we're driving this way, when we turn, we're going to get pushed in, so there's not going to be a lot of time to think on base. So go ahead and run your checklist.
Okay, so landing lights on, fuel pump still on. So about...
Mix your best power.
Mix your best power.
We'll get the rest here in just a second.
Okay.
So looking out here, still climbing up to 1600. It's hard to get up to pattern altitude at this airport with the tight airspace.
Right. So we're aiming the numbers. So we want.
So I want your aim point to be the threshold, which will put you on that second or third strike.
Okay.
So right there, being the touchdown point, pull that power back.
Okay, power back.
Carb heat, first notch of flaps.
All right. Carb heat, first notch of flaps.
Very good. Pitching for 70. This is looking great. Now we're just watching here. Remember, we're getting blown that way, so come back this way just a little bit. So, yeah, right here. Make your turn.
All right, clear right.
Clear. Watching that airspeed. Remember, we're getting blown that way, so we got to turn early.
Cherokee, 23, Juliet Charlie, crossing 1735. North Little Rock.
North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, right base 23, North Little Rock.
So second notch of flaps?
Yep, go ahead and lower that second notch.
All right.
You know what, let's land with the flaps we got right here.
Okay.
Let's see if it's any
Turn
easier
final?
for you. Yeah, turn final. We're
Clear right.
Clear right. We're turning early, and...
North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 23, Juliet Charlie, clear 1735. North Little Rock.
North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, final 23, North Little Rock. Yeah, this is looking much better, man. Yeah, a little bit of right wing down, start pulling that power back. Look at your airspeed, You're fast. So nose up, a little bit less power. Come back right just a little bit. Keep coming right. Don't go around until I tell you.
Are we going around or are we landing?
No, keep going.
All right, let me bring power out to idle.
Yeah, idle power.
Idle power.
I don't care how long we land.
How do we straighten up here?
You're flying.
How do we straighten up? How do we get straight?
With the rudder. Okay. Take a breath, put that wing down.
Wing down. Carb heat in.
Yep.
Flaps down. Power in.
Yep, full power. Great. Don't ever give up the controls. My controls.
Your controls?
My controls. Don't ever give up the controls on final like that. I'm just trying to help you get situated. Okay. Now, 60 knots here. Now watch how we're getting into like a crab right here.
Right.
It's best to do it early. That way we can see like what kind of drift we have. Flaps are up. Fuel pump off. Landing light off. After takeoff checklist is complete. I built up my airspeed by pitching down, and now I'm pitching for 70 knots. I'm using right rudder here, pitching for 70 knots. It's a little bit uncomfortable to pitch down like this, but airspeed is life in these situations.
Right.
Because that allows you to trade that airspeed for altitude should you need it. So I'm flying with a little bit of right rudder. I think I've got maybe an inch or two of right rudder in here, and I'm just letting her climb. All right, so we're at 800 feet. I'm going to continue to climb. That's Camp Robinson over there, so we'll probably turn a little early.
Gotcha. So there's a water tower over there as well.
Yeah, so we'll probably want to turn before the water tower. That's probably a pretty good landmark.
Okay. And
when you start flying at airports like this, it's a good idea to pick out landmarks for pattern references. So clear right.
Clear right.
Turn crosswind here. There's a couple C-130s climbing out there. Looks like they're on the BG departure. Two C-130s right there. All right, clear right. We're turning around. I turned a little bit too much on mine as well. That's okay. Okay, so go ahead and give me a downwind call for 2-3 if you would. Right downwind for 2-3.
All right. North Little Rock 7348 Juliet. Right downwind 2-3. Runway 23. North Little Rock.
Good, good.
So like when we're coming, I don't want to be hindering you from correcting on the landing. So when we're coming in like that and we're on a sideways, how do we straighten back up? You just giving it left rudder to straighten back up?
Yes. So, all right, I'll kind of show you. So there's two ways. I'm going to show you the wing low. And so we're flying down final kind of sideways like this. And it'll be left rudder. And so what that does is, if we just did this with no rudder, that would cause us to like drift over. But so what left rudder does, in addition to the right aileron, is it keeps us from doing that. It just keeps us in an angle all the way down final. All right, you've already made my call. I'm still climbing here. I'm still low. Seatbelts on. Fuel selector valve. That right tank's good. Fuel pump on, landing light on, mixture best power. We'll get the rest here in just a second. So this is a good spacing from the pattern. I'm still a little bit low.
Okay.
We're tight, so what that means is we're probably going to have to turn early with the winds pushing us. All right, so beam our touchdown point, pull the power, carve heat, first notch of flaps, pitch it for 70. You know, that quick gets you thinking about the landing versus, you know,
right.
The faster you can get that accomplished, the better. All right, so now I'm looking for 45 degrees off the back of the wing there.
Okay.
And so I'm pitching for 70. And I'm trying to get myself straightened out here. Yeah, we got two C-130s right there on the BG departure. That's cool. Probably a couple of guys I fly with. Be funny if it was. All right, that looks good right about there.
Okay.
So I'll turn base. Make my base call, please.
All right. North Little Rock, this is Cherokee 7348 Juliet. Turning right base, runway 23, North Little Rock.
I'll lower that second notch of flaps. So on your next one, let's try one with flaps up because that's going to make it easier to, you won't get blown over as much. Because one thing that flaps do, they're basically big sails too. So in crosswinds, sometimes it's smart to land with less flaps.
Okay.
All right, so how's this looking? What do you think?
Looks good.
I might be a little slow. I'll pitch down.
Looks a lot better than mine.
All right, so let's go ahead and lower the last notch of flaps. I'm going to challenge myself. So give me my base to final call.
All right. North Little Rock, this is Cherokee 7348 Juliet. Final, runway 23, North Little Rock.
So I turned a little early, and I still didn't turn early enough.
Gotcha.
I still got a little bit left to center line. So now I'm looking for 60 knots. So I need to pitch up. Well, that makes me high, so I'm going to pull power too. So another thing I have available to me if I'm high, I don't actually need it here, but is a forward slip, and that's opposite aileron and rudder. So notice how like zero is like kind of sideways there.
Right.
So I'm slipping a little bit on purpose. So right aileron, left rudder. See how we're kind of flying like that?
Yep.
Now I can take some of that out. And I'm using a little bit of left rudder, a little bit of right aileron. Not much. Idle power. I'm just going to let her kind of sink down here and just let her kind of get close to the runway and just slowly pull that nose up, but not too much. And just let her settle onto the runway. Take a breath. Flaps. Carb heat. And look at my ailerons.
Yeah.
See how they're not much, but just enough power.
To the right.
That keeps us from getting pushed over that way. And on heavier crosswinds day, you need more. All right, airspeed's coming alive. We're rotating a little bit later for the gusts. There it is, 60 knots.
Okay.
That can be something that you get yourself in trouble with, is rotating early on one of these airplanes that have miles per hour and knots.
Gotcha.
And if that ever happens like we did, just pitch the nose down and regain that airspeed. Are you ready to fly?
Yes, sir.
All right, standby one here.
All right.
Fuel pump off, landing light off. After takeoff checklist is complete.
Okay.
Your controls.
My controls?
Your controls. See that water tower way off in the distance?
Yep.
Just point slightly to the left of that and try to keep us slightly to the left of that. So that's a good thing to do, is pick out references way out there. Climbing at 70. And you can see, like, now you can kind of see we're getting blown over. Yeah,
right.
good. Maybe a little bit more to the left of that water tower.
Okay.
That hill to the left of that water tower, maybe. Yeah, it's looking better. Give me a little nose up to keep the climb coming.
Okay. Are we going to go on the outside of that water tower this time? Or we can still go on the inside?
Just climb right over the top of it.
Okay.
If we were at a field where there was no like airspace or anything, we'd wait till we were at 1300 and then we'd turn.
Gotcha.
Yeah, clear right.
All right, clear right.
Clear. Do you want to fly and make radio calls at the same time?
Sure.
Okay.
So this is downwind, right?
This is crosswind.
Crosswind.
They're kind of messed up right now because of these strong winds, but let's go ahead and make another turn.
So do I need to make the crosswind call?
Nope. Go ahead and make your right-hand turn.
Make right?
Yep. Our patterns are a little bit messed up because of the winds, and so they're not quite rectangle, and that's what we're trying to strive for, is trying to strive for rectangle
North
patterns.
Rock traffic. Cherokee 23 Juliet Charlie. Ready for takeoff. Runway 23, North Rock.
Okay, go ahead and make your downwind call.
All right. Cherokee 7348 Juliet. Just turn downwind, North Little Rock.
23.
Runway 23.
North Little Rock, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, right downwind, 23.
Yeah, as soon as I started with the call, I know I forgot the North Little Rock.
No worries. I'm getting that
Yeah.
In your mind there.
Yeah.
All right. Out here, you can start running your checklist. Just
okay.
The big thing is just watch your airspeed.
Okay. So we got. So we need to turn fuel pump on.
Yep.
Fuel pump on. Landing lights on. Mixture is best power. Is that it for now?
Yeah, we'll get the rest here in just a second. Now, let's try a landing with 1 notch of flaps.
Okay.
And what you're going to notice is you don't get pushed over quite as much.
So where will we need to put in that first notch of flaps?
I would put it
the
in
same
the
place?
same place as normal. Things to think about when you're using less flaps. The airplane doesn't want to descend as quickly. So you need to be more aggressive on the power pull. So you'll need less power, probably closer to 15 than 1700. All right, look at the runway.
Try to move to the right a little bit.
I would say this is good spacing, so kind of go back to left.
North of the Rock traffic, Cherokee 23 Juliet Charlie, right crosswind, runway 23, North of the Rock.
Keep the climb coming.
Okay.
And come that way just a little bit more so we don't get blown over anymore. All right, right here.
All right, so full power 17 or 15?
Yeah, just pull it out. There you go.
15.
And you don't have to look at that every time. Once you get used to what you need.
Carb heat on. First notch of flaps.
And we're going to keep those flaps the rest of the time.
All right.
So look at your runway. We're getting blown over, so come back left.
Okay.
North of Rock traffic, Cherokee 23 Juliet Charlie, right downwind, runway 23, North of Rock.
All right. This look pretty good for the base.
Drive it out one more potato with these flaps being at 10.
Okay.
All right, now turn.
All right.
Nose down a little bit.
North Little Rock is Cherokee 7348 Juliet, turning right base, runway 23, North Little Rock.
Good. Watch your airspeed,
Okay.
nose
Pitch
down.
it down.
See how we went way down when that happens. So sometimes you have to use those together. Always keep your hand on the throttle when we're close to the ground like this. Because if you need to go around, you need that max power. If you need to break a stall, don't forget to turn early on this one.
Okay. Let's go. North Little Rock, this is Cherokee 7348 Juliet, turning final, runway 23, North Little Rock.
Good. Yeah, we're having to turn early because these winds. He's on downwind, I heard him, I don't see him yet. All right, look at your airspeed, we're getting fast. Pitch up a little bit, we're a little bit fast. A little bit less than that.
Less power?
More power.
More power?
More power, more power, more power.
Less power?
More power.
More power?
More power. More power.
North of the Rock traffic, Cherokee 23 Juliet Charlie,
down.
Right base, runway 23, North of the Rock.
All right. All right.
All right. Carb heat in, flaps down, full power?
Full power. Wait for that 60. Give me a little right wing down.
Okay, right wing down. All right, airspeed's alive.
Good.
Pull back.
Pull back. Not quite that aggressive. Cool. Not too bad. Still, it's tough on a crosswind. As soon as it's
North
got...
Rock traffic, Cherokee 23 Juliet, on final, runway 23, North of the Rock.
All right, somebody drive out toward that water tower again.
Yeah, drive out towards that water tower. I think we got two more. We got two more. Okay. My controls
Your
for a
controls?
second. So, if you ever get high and you don't have flaps at your disposal for one reason or another, you have something called a forward slip. And what that is basically crosswind controls, but a little bit more extreme. All right, still climbing up at 70 knots here. And so, you have tools available to you to get down besides flaps. You have three main tools. You have power, you have flaps, and you have the forward slip. Obviously, we want to use flaps as much as possible, but on a crosswind day, that may not be the best option. And so, today, if we want to land with flaps up, we'll do a forward slip. And so what we'll do is we'll put right aileron into the wind, like we normally would, and then we'll do opposite rudder, which is left rudder, and then we'll fly sideways down final. But you can actually be a little bit more aggressive than a normal crosswind landing. That'll actually help you sink down faster.
So you said elevator to the right, left rudder.
On the go, runway 23,
yeah, so
North of the Rock.
it's going to depend on the wind. If it's if the wind is like straight down the pipe, like straight down the runway, you could go either way. You can go left wing down and right rudder, or right wing down and left rudder. All right, seatbelts on, fuel selector valve.
Fuel pump on?
Yeah, fuel pump on, landing light on, makes your best power. We'll get the rest here in just a second. So yeah, it just depends, but today for the winds, we want to put the wing, we want to put the right wing down because that's the same winds as our crosswinds.
Traffic, Cherokee 23, Juliet Charlie, right, crosswind, runway 23, North Little Rock.
All right, so he's turning crosswind. We're at 1600 at our pattern altitude. This is a pretty good spacing, and so if we're going to land with flaps up, we want to start getting down somewhat early. So I'm going to pull that power. I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive on the power pull. Actually, I want to stay high because I want to demonstrate this slip, carb heat on.
Yeah, I don't want to do no flips. No flips today.
Let's not do a flip. That might not be too fun. All right, pitching for 70 knots out here. And so another thing to think about with
North
flaps.
Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 23, Juliet Charlie, right downwind, runway 23, North Little Rock.
With flaps up, we should really be landing a little bit faster. And the POH tells you...
Helicopter 138 Alpha Hotel, we're 430 bridge inbound for runway 04.
North Little Rock, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, right base 23, North Little Rock.
All right, so I'm pitching for 70 knots. So really with flaps up, we probably should land closer to 65 knots. So a little bit faster because our stall speed's higher. And so we want a little bit, of a safety buffer for stall speed. Pitching for 70, I'm keeping power in to stay a little bit high so you can see this slip. I'm going to turn a little bit early here because we're getting blown over. Okay, I'm going to turn early. Clear right.
North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, base to final 23, North Little Rock.
Okay, so now I'm high, I know that, so let's pull power. Well, that's not enough. So let's go right wing down, left rudder. And so you can kind of see, like, we're kind of flying in this weird crab thing down final.
Right.
Traffic, helicopter 138 Alpha Hotel, we're 3 miles final, runway 04.
Towards the right spot. Now see how we're catching up to our glide slope? So somewhere right in here, we can start feeding that power back in and take those controls out.
Charlie, right base, runway 23, North Little Rock.
Nose up a little bit here. And I know I'm going to float a little bit long on this one. We'll see what we get here. Not too bad. I was a little fast, that's why we floated. Flaps already up, carb heat off, power. I got the right wing down here for the crosswinds. Airspeed's coming alive. Oil pressure's in the green. A little bumpy there at the bottom. Rotate at 60 knots for the gust. Waiting for 70. Safely airborne. Flaps already up. Fuel pump off. Landing light off. After takeoff checklist is complete. All right, you ready to take over?
I am.
All right, your controls.
My controls?
I want you to climb directly straight out.
Okay.
And we're going to basically
North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 23, Juliet Charlie, final runway 23, North Little Rock.
And we're going to enter a left downwind for 3-5. Because I want you to get at least one that's not a crosswind, so you can see how much easier it is. I did hear somebody going to Camp Robinson.
Camp Robinson traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet. We're about 2 miles to the south, climbing 1,600. We're going to be making a turnaround out here to go back to the pattern at North Little Rock.
Hey, Robinson traffic, helicopter 138 Alpha Hotel, Officer 04, be taxi to the ramp.
Okay, he's on the ground then. That sounded like Bill Clinton, didn't it?
Yeah, it was kind of hard to understand, period.
North Little Rock traffic, Centurion 210 Romeo Zulu taxiing to 23, North Little Rock.
Okay, so Camp Robinson's over there. Okay, so what we're going to do is make a right turn here, and we're going to enter the keep your climb coming to 1600.
Okay.
And we're going to enter a right downwind for 3-5.
So keep the turn coming?
Yeah, clear right.
Clear right.
And we're going to
North Little Rock traffic, Centurion 210 Romeo Zulu crossing 1735.
Okay. Yeah, so
he's crossing the runway?
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to full stop on 3-5.
And North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet. We're about 3 miles to the west. We're going to enter a right downwind for 3-5 full stop, North Little Rock.
Okay, so go straight towards the field.
Okay.
Keep your climb coming to 1600. Start running your patterns out here, because things are going to come fast.
North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 23, Juliet Charlie, clear of runway 23, North Little Rock.
Okay, he's clear of the runway. He's on the ground.
Okay.
So we're trying to build up our altitude here for just a little bit. Drive it that way just a little bit more.
Okay.
And normally you would enter like middle of the field, but we'll come left a little bit more.
More?
Yeah, just because of the airspace over here, I don't want to get into the class Charlie at all. And so we'll enter more of an approach in downwind, or sorry, a departure in downwind for 3-5. Yeah, so somewhere right here, clear right, and we'll enter right here.
Okay.
North Little Rock, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, right downwind 35, North Little Rock.
All right, parallel the runway,
okay.
Going this way, seatbelts on.
Clear right.
Clear, come right, come right, come right, watch your airspeed, pitch down. We're landing on this short one right here, so come right.
Oh, we gotta go way right, okay, okay.
All right, fuel pump on, landing light on, mixture best power.
Okay, I see what we're doing now.
Okay, so somewhere right in here, go ahead and pull that power, and we're going to use full flaps on this one. Look out there.
Okay.
First notch of flaps.
First notch of flaps.
Carb
heat on.
70.
Pitching for 70.
Look out there.
Okay.
Go ahead and lower the second notch and turn base.
All right.
North Little Rock, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, left base 35, North Little Rock.
I said right earlier, I meant left.
North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 23 Juliet Charlie, crossing 3517, North Little Rock.
So do I need to give it some power? I feel like we're sinking.
Go full flaps. Yeah, this is looking good, man. Give us a little more power, we're sinking.
North Little Rock, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, base to final 35, North Little Rock.
This is looking good,
North
man.
Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 23 Juliet Charlie, clear of 3517.
So we have
North Little Rock.
a slight right to left crosswind, but it's not much. And with this strong headwind, you're going to find that we sink faster.
Okay.
So a little bit nose up, a little bit less power.
Okay.
This is looking really good. Come back right just a little bit. Nose down.
Less power?
Less power.
Okay.
A little bit more power. More power. More power. More power. Right there. Nose down. Nose down.
Less power?
Less power. Nose down.
Power to idle?
Power to idle. Yeah, good correction. Nose up, nose up, nose up, nose down.
Too much. Go around, go around.
Go around, go around, go around. Pull that nose up. Flaps. Carb heat.
Flaps. Carb heat. All the way
nope,
down?
Nope, nope, nope. My controls. Wait till you get a positive rated climb before you raise that next flap.
Okay.
That's why I say, it says flaps retract slowly, but that's why I have my procedure. Now we're looking for positive rated climb. My controls, by the way. Now we're looking for positive rated climb and 70 knots. That's actually good that you saw that, because that's why I have my technique of first notch of flaps, wait till the positive rated climb, second notch of flaps, wait till a positive rated climb and 70 knots, and then flaps up, because that builds us a safety buffer.
Right.
Because the POH a lot of times just says retract flap slowly. Well, what does that mean?
Right.
Well, we don't know. All right. You're going to get the next one. You got this one, though.
So when you said pull up, I pulled up way too much. That's why we
When I say pull up, just bring that nose just below the horizon.
Yeah.
Just below the horizon. That's all we need to land this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was way too much.
North Little Rock, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, left crosswind 35, North Little Rock.
I'm a little slow here. No sweat, man. This is how it goes on these things.
Yeah.
Especially on a day like today.
Yeah.
And you're going to find, like, a day that it's smooth, it's going to be so easy, it'll get your confidence way too high.
Yeah. Yeah, today, I feel like today's been rough due to the wind.
Yeah. We had to turn early once again because we've got restricted areas to the north there. Otherwise, we would have climbed higher. This airspace is really tight. It's not really good for patterns, but the weather was marginal, and so we didn't really have much of a choice.
Right.
All right, you ready to take over?
I'm ready.
Your controls.
My controls?
I intentionally have you climbing at 60, 65. I'm trying to climb us a steeper angle because...
North Little Rock traffic, Cessna 210 Romeo Zulu, departing runway 23. Going to leave the pattern to the west, North Little Rock.
Roger, and 7348 Juliet, we're on the left downwind for 35 at the moment. You might want to wait for us just a second here. We're going to keep it tight for you.
All right, I appreciate that. Just let me know when you think you're clear.
Roger, 7348 Juliet, thank you.
All right, you can just stay at this altitude. Seatbelts on, fuel selector valve. Yeah, that tank's good. Make fuel pumps on, landing lights on, make sure best power. All right, right here, go ahead and pitch for 70.
Okay,
pull those
power back.
Yeah, power back. First notch of flaps. Carb heat on.
Carb heat on. All right, ready to make our turn to base.
Clear left.
North Little Rock, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, left base 35, North Little Rock.
All right, yeah, so when you pitch up, just make a gentle correction and just try to freeze that nose just below the horizon. That's the key here. Second notch of flaps.
Okay, second notch of flaps.
I'll keep it on the second notch for this landing. A little more power.
More
nose
power?
up. Yep, a little more power, nose up. We don't have undershooting, so turn on time this time. Keep it a little bit farther.
North Little Rock traffic, Cessna 24 X-ray, 5 miles east.
Ready?
Yep.
Crossing midfield landing, runway 35, North Little Rock.
North Little Rock, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, final 35, North Little Rock.
All right. Look at your little bit less power, just a tiny bit, nose up. On the go around, if you ever go around, full power.
Okay.
I'm going to try to help you get it on the ground right now because we're running late.
Yeah, that's fine. Can you less power?
This is good. A little less power. Nose up. A little less power. Nose up or nose down. Nose down. Good power setting. A little more power. A little more power. Less power. Nose up just slightly. Come right just a little bit. Down, down, down. There you go. Nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up. Nose up, nose up, nose up. That's not too bad.
North Little Rock
Just let
traffic,
us roll to the end.
Cessna 24 X-ray, 2.5 miles east, crossing midfield, landing 35, North Little Rock.
North Little Rock traffic landed on 35. I'm waiting to depart on 23. Are you out of the way?
We're out of the way. You're good to go.
Can you slow us down?
North Little Rock traffic, Cessna 210 Romeo Zulu. North Little Rock traffic, 210 Romeo Zulu, now departing runway 23. Going to lead the pattern to the west.
Back to my rudders instead of the brakes.
You're fine. All right, let's clear the runway. All right, stop right here. So after landing checklist for you here.